Right off the bat, the first thing I want to say is like a couple of thank yous. First, for songs that never get old. I mean, literally never get old. Want to thank you for picking Rockford to film that DVD at the Coronado Theater a number of years ago.
Yeah, that was great. I remember that. It's great theater.
And for marrying a woman from Beloit, because I did too.
Come on, they're the best. Those Midwestern girls.
They are the best. Although she was a transplant, right? Because you met her when you were recording at Sound City, correct?
Yeah, right. She'd already made her way out to L.A., but she was raised in Beloit for sure.
20 years of doing the morning show here, you get a lot of stories of people talking about, oh, yeah, I saw him. He was walking a dog down the street. We used to live down the street from her. And, I thank you for that because those stories are funny. And obviously they grow and take strange directions and turns every time you hear a story.
Yeah, you never let truth interfere with a good story. I never do.
So yesterday, right after the show, we sat down and watched a trailer for a movie coming out August 7th called Ricky and the Flash with Meryl Streep. Holy smokes, this movie looks great.
Yeah, it's really, I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a couple of scenes when I went in to do ADR, which is where, you revoice it because there was a noise or something on your line.
Okay.
And I've only seen a couple of scenes, but it looks great. I mean, it's all A-class people with Jonathan Demme directing and Meryl and Kevin Kline and then Diablo Cody writing the screenplay. So it's damn a good chance.
Now, is this something that you want to do more of? Because, we think about, actually it's so odd, it's today, and I think also on Monday, General Hospital is doing live episodes. So I saw that, and I thought how ironic that we're talking with you today. But are doing more movies, is that something that's going to be down the road? Are we getting more music next? Or are we getting both music and a movie at the same time?
Yeah, we just finished a new album that's coming out around the same time as a movie, and also the paperback version of my novel, Magnificent Vibrations, coming out around the same time as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming out. Also, I did a couple of episodes of True Detective that'll air, I think, in June or July. So I want to, I want to do more of that, obviously. So they're doing General Hospital live again now?
Yeah, I think it was today and Monday. Is that right, Mandy? Did I read that right? I think General Hospital's live today and Monday.
Wow, that's pretty brave.
Soap opera work, you always hear people say that is it is not the easiest thing. There's so much dialogue that you have to, learn every day.
Soaps are the toughest acting, producing, directing, and writing gig in the world. It's just I couldn't do it. I can't do it now. I mean, it's just I don't know how I memorized all those lines back then. But there's some people who are really great at it. My friend Doug Davidson's been on the Young and the Restless for 30 years. He's brilliant at it. He nails it every time. It was always a struggle for me on the soaps. I was always just struggling trying to remember the lines.
Mm. Yeah, I can't even fathom what that would be like. It's it would just melt my brain to try and do all of that.
It's a very stressful gig, and I can't imagine doing it live. They're out of their mind.
So I want to try something. The other day we put up on Facebook, we gave away some tickets and some meet and greets for tonight. And I asked everybody that follows us on Facebook if you could ask Rick one question, what would it be? Because I think, we might not think of things that other people might want to ask. And just as I thought, a lot of them were great questions. A few of them were a bit odd.
I bet some of them are odd. I've heard some of them.
And I don't know if it'll lead to something. It's kind of like, I guess, playing word association, which I do want to do that as well. But here's the first question. Somebody asked, her name was Brooke Adams. Do you know all the words to Benny and the Jets now?
No, I still don't. I'm terrible with lyrics. I even have my own lyrics scrolling on stage a lot of the time because I don't remember them. But I'm not the only one. When I did the Sound City thing, I was up backstage watching Stevie Nicks, and she has two screens and scrolling every single lyric and all the songs she's been doing for like 40 years. So I don't feel so alone.
All right, so our next question is Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds, early 80s. I was there. What do you remember? Now,
I remember you. Yeah, you had a pink tank top, right? Jeans, short-ass jeans, leg warmers and a headband, and very puffy hair.
Jeff Graves asks, does Jessie's girl have grandchildren now?
Probably, yeah. She'd probably be in her 50s now. Yeah, that's pretty weird to think of. I lost touch with them actually before the record came out, so I never knew kind of what happened to them. Oprah tried to find them. She went looking for. She had a program, Women in Songs, and she went looking for the girl, but and got close, but got about a year away. She missed her.
Ah. If they were ever to make a movie about your life, who would you want to play you?
Me, I'm an actor.
MJ Gibson wants to know if you still work with stained glass.
No, I still think about it, but I love to work with my hands. I used to make like clay models and everything. I used to do a lot of stuff like that, but no, I don't anymore. I still admire him. It got a good couple of songs out of it, but other than that, no.
Okay. And advice for first-time guitar players.
Well, don't tape the ends of your fingers up. It doesn't work.
Super glue seems to work when they get raw.
Oh, dude, I tried putting tape on them when I remember as a little, like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy. My fingers hurt so because I had a really super cheap guitar and the strings were really high off the neck, and it just hurt like hell. And it got raw, so I tried putting tape on them, and that didn't work. So it doesn't work.
And then Sherry asked, want to make out?
That's a pretty loaded question.
I told you not all of them were normal. So let's go back. I want to ask you because the Sound City documentary I've watched all the way through 3 times. And
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, the work that Dave Grohl did in making that and getting all of you back together to tell these stories it's fantastic because it's just this piece of history that if it hadn't been for that movie, most of us would have never known about all the great people that walked through there. And my question, the first one I want to ask about that documentary is there's a story in there about when I asked you about guitar playing. You know, in the beginning of your musical career in the United States and working with Sound City, was it Neil? Is Neil the guy's name that ran the studio and was also managing you?
Oh, Joe Gottfried. Yeah, he was an awesome guy. I think of Joe every time. He loved that studio more than anything, and he died in the early 90s, but he would be so proud of that whole documentary and the whole thing around Sound City because it was his baby. And they never really got acknowledged. You know, it was always just that crappy studio where you get great sounds out of, you know, and all these gigantic hits, and no one really kind of gave him any accolades for it back then. So I hope he's feeling it now.
Yeah. What was the issue that you two had over the guitar stuff in Jessie's Girl?
Keith Olsen had his players. Keith Olsen was a big producer back in the 80s, right? And he did us a favor by telling Joe, I'll do 2 songs with this unknown guy, Rick, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the songs he picked was one I'd just written called Jessie's Girl. And I said, well, you know, I played in the demo, which I played everything on. I played the guitar, the bass, the drums, and everything on the demo. And he said, I don't want you playing guitar. I'm going to have Neil Giraldo play the guitar. Oh. He'd just done Pat Benatar's record, and, you know, he loved Neil, and Neil's a great guitar player. Neil's actually a better guitar player than me, but I was really upset because I'd played guitar on all my records before that. You know, I played guitar, bass, keyboards, everything on my records. So it was kind of a slap in the face, but in the end it worked out great because Neil's particular sound that he was using at that time was you know, I mean, it's become kind of iconic, recognizable with the whole song.
You think? I mean, when you played with Dave and the Sound City Players, I forget where the gig was, but you played the first 3 chords, and Dave was like, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, the whole world knows this, and all you've played are 3 chords, you know?
Yeah, well, it's a pretty recognizable riff, and it was one I came up with, you know, just kind of messing around with my in my music room. I mean, it's all, as Jessie's Girl was recorded, it was exactly like the demo, just a couple of changes. I mean, but the sound of Neil's guitar, I thought, was really great. It was very recognizable. That kind of had a delay on it, and great. It worked, things work out for a reason.
Will you be playing The Band That Never Was, which is, in my opinion, and not just because you're on the phone, but the best song on that soundtrack? Are you playing that live?
We were for a while, but it was kind of greeted with quizzical looks. I don't think the documentary was still pretty new, and I don't think a lot of people knew it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I liked the song. I thought it was great. We might put it back in now that the documentary's been out for a while and see if it gets a better reaction. I'm very crowd oriented. I want everyone to have a great time. So I do look for the dead spots and try and weed them out. But I love playing the song. Actually, we did a show in L.A. and Dave just after the documentary came out, and Dave came and played it with us on stage. It was great. It's a pretty powerful song and really fun to play. It's just really rock.
Yeah, you aren't kidding. It's powerful, very powerful. All right, so are the emotions that we saw on an internet story that actually Mandy brought up to me. I had actually already forgotten about it, and we're not even sure if you can talk about it anymore. The butt trial.
Oh, we can talk about it now because we won.
Fantastic. So for those that don't know, somehow you were doing your thing at a show and a woman took some of your hind end in the face or something?
Yeah, I go through the crowd sometimes, during one of the songs, and and I've been doing this for 25 years, and she's the only one who ever claims that she got brain damage from my ass hitting her in the face. So it wouldn't have gone ahead anywhere but New York, because New York can sue anybody for anything. It's just the way their legal system works. And she'd gone through 4 lawyers, and they'd all realized it was ridiculous. And she finally got this one lawyer that decided there was a case here, and before he met her. So we went to trial, and we had it won, and then some idiot called up and said, yeah, I was there, he did fall on her. And so they had to declare a mistrial. So a year later, we had to come back and do it all again. And it was totally ridiculous. And I wasn't going to settle. I think they were hoping I would settle, because that's what most people do. They throw some money at them and say, go away. I don't want to have to deal with this anymore. But I don't believe in that, and I never have. And so I sucked it up and, went to New York again and for another 2 weeks and went through the trial again. And the jury was out for like 15 minutes and came back and said, no, it's not they gave me the case. So it was just a waste of my time, really, but it was something that I wouldn't have, like I said, I wouldn't have settled for. I mean, we make jokes about it now. I make a joke on a solo show about there's a photo of my lawyer holding up a photo of my butt. And I had to actually answer her lawyer's question, Mr. Springfield, do you recognize this butt?
Oh. I have to imagine she probably spent more on attorney's fees than she would have gotten from you for the actual lawsuit itself.
What's that?
I have to assume that she probably would have spent more on her attorney fees than she would have gotten from you for the actual lawsuit itself.
Well, I think she did in the end, but I think she was hoping that we'd throw money at her, because these kind of lawyers take it on contingency, where they basically hope they win the case and then take 40% of whatever they make, which can be pretty considerable money. So it's kind of worth the gamble for a lot of these guys. But if they don't win, then it's basically on the lawyers. I mean, I think they should in these kind of cases they should always make the loser pay the court costs. That would stop a lot of these frivolous lawsuits.
My God, it sure would.
I'm kind of surprised to hear that this isn't a woman that was kind of looking for a record deal or something. Remember that woman that was suing Mila Kunis over the chicken? Mm-hmm. But it turns out she was like this internet person that just wanted to get her 15 seconds of fame. So I'm surprised to hear that this isn't some woman who maybe had like a YouTube video somewhere, and then by mentioning you, now everybody knows who she is, and now we're all watching her YouTube video.
Well, unfortunately, she got a lot of crap from fans, I guess, wailing on her, but she was originally a fan herself, which is a kind of a sad thing. I mean, she was a fan when she was a little kid and came to the show as a fan and decided that this was her best course of action. And, the first deposition we had where you sit down and the lawyer asks you questions and it's all on the record, at the end of that, as we're leaving, she says, "Are there any tickets for tonight's show?" and her lawyer put his head in his hand and shook his head.
Are you kidding? Wow.
Well, you can bump me with your booty anytime, and I promise I will not sue.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you in advance.
All right, so I also picked up, and I picked it up again to read your autobiography, and I'm asking this because we've been playing a lot of songs this week and having fun reminiscing about when we were younger and how much fun it's going to be tonight to be at the Convocation Center and pretend we're teenagers again. And I have a couple of guilty pleasure movies, and by that I mean that if I find it on cable, wherever it's at, I'll watch it from there till the end.
Yeah, I have those movies.
Okay, one of them is Roadhouse. The other, the other one's Jerry Maguire,
Right.
and Hard to Hold.
Well, I appreciate the company.
You basically spelled it out in your book that you kind of wish none of that would ever have happened. And when I asked this question, I want to know specifically, are you meaning you wish the movie thing or the music? Because Love Somebody is probably my absolute favorite song.
No, I was very happy with the music. I was really happy. I actually talk about the movie being a $12 million video for music video for Love Somebody. That was. I mean, I don't wish I hadn't done it because everything takes its course from everything else. Every action has a reaction. I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't have done that, but. There were better choices of movies, and that was a one time in my life. I think I let my ego get the better of me, and I knew the script wasn't really good, but I said I thought, hey, I can make something great out of this, But I mean, in retrospect, it's got a lot of great memories. I know a lot of people like it and connect a lot of great memories with it. So, I mean, I shouldn't bag on it that much, but I just, I mean, it was directed by a guy who hated rock music, had never been to a rock concert, and didn't particularly like women either. So it was kind of, we're batting uphill already. So it was, whereas opposed to Jonathan Demme, who directed Ricky and the Flash's music in that, he's a music freak. I mean, he directed Stop Making Sense, with the Talking Heads.
Right.
And he really knows how to make a movie with music in it. And we play live in this, in Ricky and the Flash. He didn't want to do it lip sync, because every movie you see with music in it, it's all lip sync. No matter what they say, it's all lip sync. He didn't want to do that. So, for better or for worse, we're playing all live, and it'll show, I think.
Now, did Meryl? Is she really playing guitar? Does she know how to play?
Yeah, she learned for the part. That's the kind of actor she is. Yeah, she learned for the part.
Wow. And did you guys ever sit down and just, kind of like they do in Nashville at the Bluebird, just kind of sit around and just kind of strum to help her develop her skills? Any moments like that happen?
Yeah. We had three other great musicians, all Rock and Roll Hall of Famers in the band, so she was very into it. She'd ask us to, when we'd be filming a song, it'd be downtime while they're changing shots, so we just launched into songs. And Joe Vitale, the drummer, actually was Joe Walsh, the drummer for a long time, and he actually co-wrote Rocky Mountain Way and Life's Been Good with Joe Walsh, and we'd launch into those kind of songs and just play anything. And she loved it. We'd be sitting there. She could play another song.
Wow. What's the first song she learned how to play? Do you know?
Well, we're a cover band. We play a cover band, so she had to learn all the cover songs.
Okay.
So I don't know what the first song was. Probably an Edgar Winter song we do. But she was very determined, and she was working for 2 months with a guitar teacher, and the electric guitar is a whole other animal to an acoustic guitar. So it's a whole other thing. It's a lot harder to fake, and she actually does a solo, and it's very cool.
Wow. She does a solo. I can't believe that. I mean, it's like you said, it is a testament to the kind of actor that she is, that she would do all of that for this part. But
she's still a very brave actor that puts herself on the line, I mean, that's pretty daunting stuff. And the last thing my wife had seen her in was Devil Wears Prada, or Julia Childs, the Julia Childs movie.
Sure.
And she thought, I can't imagine Meryl was like some Bonnie Raitt type rocker. And my wife comes onto the set and saw Meryl and thought it was her stand-in, her younger stand-in, because she just totally killed it. I mean, it's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, the trailer, if you haven't seen it yet, you have to go see this. Ricky and the Flash opens August 7th. This movie's going to be great. And
yeah, she's amazing.
Well, listen, Rick, tonight you'll see me a little bit later. I'm bringing a bra and a Sharpie. Would you like to know why?
Yes.
We have a big event every October. It's called it's a bra auction we do for breast cancer charity, and it's an opportunity for us to get firemen out of their uniforms, and they put these highly decorated bras on, and we put these great prize packages together, and then people bid on these bras. And you have been so kind, your management said we could bring you one that you would sign for us that we could auction off for charity this October.
Absolutely. I'm a little disturbed that a fireman is going to wear it, but yeah, sure.
If I'll bring you some pictures of the past years. It is a little disturbing on thought, but when you see it, it's a blast. It's so much fun. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
listen,
great.
Safe travels. We'll see you at the NIU Convocation Center tonight.
I'll be there.
All right, Rick, thank you so much again for your time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you.